You are a mother of two. You wrote that opinion piece saying that your remaining SNAP balance was supposed to help feed your family. Now it has to stretch indefinitely. What is your plan if this shutdown is still happening on Saturday when SNAP benefits will run out?
Well, it's a lot of mental work to reorganize my budget and pulling from areas that ultimately just end up costing my children. It just means that we carve out like anything that could be extra has to go. I have two teenagers, they have cell phones. Maybe we don't continue their cell phone lines. It's really hard and it feels pointlessly hard, considering the impact.
So you write that conversations around SNAP benefits are often fraught, dominated by the simplistic refrain that recipients should get a job. So talk about the circumstances that led you to receiving these benefits. And what do you say to people, to politicians who many times criticize those who receive these benefits?
Yeah, I think we have an idea of who has SNAP benefits that doesn't measure up to who actually receives SNAP benefits. I'm not an exception. I think I'm more the average American who's receiving SNAP benefits. When I was first on SNAP 10 years ago, it was because my children's father left. He just did not want to be a parent anymore. And I was alone raising them. I had two under three. I went back to school full time. I went to community college. I went to Temple University. Then I went to grad school. Um, and then I got a job right after I graduated grad school, and I was able to go off SNAP benefits. And then my daughter was diagnosed with cancer in May 2020. I worked full time and took care of her during the pandemic. But at the end of 2023, my job restructured and I lost my job. And the job market's quite punishing. I have an MFA in writing, and I decided to, instead of, try to get into the job market and apply for hundreds of jobs and not hear back, I started a freelancing business and I've been building that back up. And SNAP has been a huge help to me. And now I'm not really that far away from getting off of SNAP again. It's helped feed my children during these tough transitions in my life. And that's what most SNAP benefit recipients are experiencing.
And I have to add, Elizabeth, as a cancer survivor myself, it can be very difficult to navigate a job if you do not have an employer that is willing to work with you as I do. And so, I absolutely sympathize. Now, since even before the shutdown, we have seen finger pointing across both sides of the aisle. That continues. I mean, we just heard more of it. I'd like to listen to some of what happened on the Senate floor as the Majority Leader, John Thune, blocked a bill which would have funded SNAP during this shutdown.
SNAP recipients shouldn't go without food. People should be getting paid in this country. And we've tried to do that 13 times. And you voted no 13 times. This isn't a political game. These are real people's lives that we're talking about. And you all have just figured out 29 days in that, there might be some consequences.
All right, so he is obviously very fired up there. But what is your message to Republicans and Democrats? Because both sides have to come to the table.
I'm not a policymaker. That's not my area of expertise, and I am not on the Senate floor. I can't totally speak to that as an expert, but I think funding SNAP while they figure out what else needs to be figured out would be a great first step. I think that whatever needs to happen to fund SNAP should happen. We find funding for all kinds of emergencies. I'm 38 years old and I've lived in America my whole life, and I've seen all kinds of aces pulled out of sleeves when there's an emergency, something that needs doing. I have faith that we could fund SNAP, and I think that would go a long way towards supporting people while they work out whatever else is on the table.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.